Recently, a longtime friend of the channel, about 10 years, Racer Red, said that you should never ever buy a motorcycle with skull stickers on it. It looks like I have some scraping to do. Here's the pro tip, friends. All stickers, if you're selling your motorcycle, should be removed. It's not unlike selling a house. The real estate agent will tell you to take down family pictures. They don't want to see your bratty kids on vacation. Ugly paintings that your Uncle Fife did with watercolors. Take all that stuff down, take your stickers off your bikes. People want to see a blank canvas of what they're purchasing, to put their own imagination into it. Some 17-year-old kid may like 1,000 FMS stickers on there. However, if you got somebody that's got cash, wants to buy your bike, is going to want a nice clean example of what he's purchasing. Recently, my dear wife passive aggressively commented that she was having a tough time getting out to do her gardening. That's a passive aggressive way to say there's too many motorcycles out here. Now, personally, I see lots of daylight out here, and I think we could probably fit 5, maybe 6 more of those two-wheeled varmints in this garage. Really, when you want to go for a ride, you just got to shuffle a couple things around. I don't know what everybody's worried about. What's a little vehicle Jumanji among your friends? Keeps the mind sharp. It's even a little balance and strength training. Let me go grab a helmet and let's go for a ride and have a chat. About 6 months ago, I had a wild hair to go out and purchase another motorcycle in addition to the 2 I already own. It's not a necessity, it's not something I had to have, but it was a casual look over the last 6 months, but I cast a wide net over different manufacturers and models. I had no particular interest in one specific brand of motorcycle, model of motorcycle, or even type of motorcycle. Let's say dual sport, adventure bike, cruiser, sport bike, that kind of stuff. There was things that I did not want to purchase. Led me on a pretty wide-ranging path of a search. So to conduct this search, I used 3 fairly common used anything venues. Pretty common. Cycle Trader, Craigslist, and Facebook Marketplace. Now, Facebook Marketplace is a new thing to me. I'm not a Facebook person. Had a Facebook account that I canceled years ago. I jumped back into it, kind of stealthy, just kind of went back on. I didn't add anything, didn't friend anybody. That wasn't my purpose. Apparently, that's kind of the place to go if you want to purchase used vehicles these days. A lot of people suggest Facebook Marketplace. In addition to that, my area of search is based about 60 miles outside of Phoenix, Arizona. And as I say, casting a wide net, I use a 500-mile radius search area for all three venues. What is going on with the used bike market? It seems to have imploded sometime in the last year. What is the reason for this? And why aren't the prices coming down of the listed bikes? While searching, like I said, I searched just newly listed or listings over the last 30 days, and then grew out to 60 and 90 days. And as I ran them out farther and farther, I could see these listings were sitting there for not only 2 or 3 weeks, but months at a time, 14, 15, some 24 weeks just sitting on there. There's several reasons for that I'll discuss. So while searching in my 500-mile radius area, as I found motorcycles that I really wanted to, or was really interested in, maybe make a phone call for, to that point, I would search nationwide and look for that model and see what they were selling for across the country, not just in my general area. So I wanted to kind of get a glimpse of where these were at. So in addition to my search, I used 3 different tracking tools for professional advice on what these motorcycles are worth. So I'll use Kelley Blue Book motorcycles, I'll use NADA motorcycles, and JD Power, which JD Power is pretty good. It is a zip code specific rating system. With NADA and with especially Kelley Blue Book, what I'll do is I'll take the typical listing price and the trade-in value, I'll average them and get a kind of an idea where the bike should price out at. In my opinion, if they're asking between that average price and the maximum value price, the maximum value price is a perfect motorcycle from a dealership where you have a 90-day or 1-year warranty. In that gap between midway and that top price, you kind of have some room to judge what comes on that motorcycle. Anyway, that's how I gauge pricing. At some other date, I will produce my thoughts on purchasing used motorcycles. That's a different video, a little bit more involved, but I hope I can convey some better information, but that's coming up in the near future. As I moved through the last few months, just these bikes were just continuing to be on the internet, listed at the same price. There's a few different reasons. Number one, a lot of people put these ads up and won't respond. That's just idiotic. I don't know why people would do that. I've had people that were rude, called up and said, hey, I'd like to come look at your motorcycle. No, I'm not available today. Call me back in 5 weeks. Called back in 5 weeks. Oh, we sold that. You know, just thing is, I'm not a fly-by-night caller on motorcycles. I have cash and I have a trailer. That's one of the other key things to purchasing a motorcycle. Show up, buy it, and get the heck out of there. People don't want drama. They just want to get rid of their motorcycle. Don't give them time to think and get that done. Pro tip. Second thing I've noticed is in dealerships, the inventory is really high. I think that's driving the lack of sales in the used bike market. People are going to the dealerships, maybe their first time buys, stuff like that. They don't really know how to navigate around the used bike market and just want to go to the dealership, pay whatever they got to pay, and ride out of there on a motorcycle for whatever amount they stiffed them for.
probably the last reason here, and you could probably think of more, is the reason for these oddly high values and some incredibly low values to motorcycles. But really, no matter what you look for out there, the values are just crazy. They've not done any research, you can tell that. They want basically for what they paid for the motorcycle plus tax tag and whatever. In my state, we don't have to pay for tax on a used motorcycle, which is great. That's one of the best reasons for buying a used motorcycle here. However, I think a lot of these people who have no idea about the value of their motorcycle aren't on top of managing selling their motorcycle are the folks over COVID who went out and purchased motorcycles, like the folks that purchased RVs, adopted dogs, all that kind of stuff, because there was, nothing to do. There was federal money out there. They were home, working from home or whatever, had more time on their hands, went out and tried to start something new. And I think one of these avenues was motorcycles. It really has populated the pool of used vehicles out there with folks who have no idea what they're looking at. And that's the other thing, is when you show up to a lot of these places, you need to investigate how well these things have been maintained. Ready to ride isn't necessarily ready to ride. There's things that have shelf lives on motorcycles. You get beyond 5 years and you have things like tires, coolant, if it's liquid cooled, brake fluid. All this stuff has a life, shelf life to it, even if you're not riding it. Fork seals, if they sit for a long time and you're not, moving that bike around, you're not getting the stiction out of those motorcycle forks, you have a chance for those seals to leak. There's easy fixes out there, and sometimes they need to be replaced. That's not part of this video. Please don't comment about that. So there's things that when you show up, this thing's ready to ride. It's a 6-year or 5-year or 4-year-old motorcycle, and it's got 1,500 miles on it. There are problems with that. A lot of these folks don't understand. To them, they paid $15,000 for this motorcycle. There's no reason why they couldn't get $14,550 for it now. They don't understand the level of depreciation of motorcycles, and that there are costs impacting that new owner when they purchase them. I think that's why the values or the listing prices of all these motorcycles are elevated. With some education in yourself, doing it the way the way I've been doing it, I think is a pretty good way to do it. If you can explain it in a nice professional way, I guess you would say, to the person that you're negotiating with, that would be helpful. But I think there's the reason for this implosion are drastically high used motorcycle prices, dealer inventories which are high, folks that are not necessarily responsive. But it's all these things are generating, and not only that, but we have economic impacts that are happening right now. The economy is not doing as well as it should be in certain places. Food costs more. I mean, food is definitely more important than a motorcycle. Motorcycle is a luxury item. Another reason why people are probably not running out to buy. However, I have been seeing some inventory moving out of new dealerships. So all of these things packed together, I think, are really keeping that used bike market from moving. It's not that apparent, it's not, I don't see those fire sales. However, on some models, probably folks that have motorcycles that understand the market and things like that are seeing some generously low numbers, because their bikes aren't moving and they're on top of managing their used bike sales. So there are models that are probably particular to folks who ride more. And you could probably think of those yourself. I'm not going to list them all here, but there's some that are just not that flary, dazzly, in your face kind of motorcycles. Those are kind of off in the distance. The other thing I'm seeing selling at reasonable prices and quick turnovers are the let's say just above beginner into novice areas, like 600cc sport bikes. The Triumph Trident, I've been seeing those popping through pretty quickly. I saw a couple of the new generation Suzuki Katanas go up and sell within 3 or 4 days, things like that. But these were reasonably priced, and these are motorcycles like that Katana. Not a lot of people are rushing out to purchase those new. It's probably a particular person, a very knowledgeable motorcycle person, someone that has some nostalgia for the model, are going out and purchasing those. So those have a kind of a different flavor. The general market of motorcycles is artificially high prices and non-responsive folks going over long periods of time in the multitude of weeks, probably anywhere from 4 to, I've seen as much as 45 weeks on the market. I'll show you in some screenshots exactly what I'm talking about, where you can find the length of duration that ad has been up within each of the 3 used motorcycle venues I showed you. I believe that there are value out there. You can, if you permeate those high prices and approach the seller, there's things that I've been doing that I don't like to do. I've been calling and saying, hey, this is around where I think your motorcycle is at. I'm 250 miles away or 300 miles away. Are you willing to entertain an offer somewhere around there, depending on the actual condition of your motorcycle? I think that that has been pretty successful. Doesn't waste my time, doesn't waste their time. I explained to them that, you know, I'm not a motorcycle flipper. I'm intending on purchasing a motorcycle, keeping it for 5 years. I don't intend to lose more than about 5% over those 5 years. I don't mind losing between 5 and 7%. That's kind of like a lease fee. I understand motorcycles depreciate. I'm not trying to lowball you, but I think this is where the value of your motorcycle is. Someone especially who is responsive to their ads, has some cognitive ability, will take that under advisement. And you can even say, hey, this is how much I'm willing to pay about for your motorcycle. Don't take it as a lowball offer. Take it under advisement. If I'm still looking in 3 months and you're sick of listening to people call you up and just ask you questions about the motorcycle, give me a call. I'll come out, take a look at the motorcycle, and we can negotiate a good deal. That's been overwhelmingly popular with the folks I've been calling. So I think that's kind of what's going on in the market. I think that if you kind of take these things and add them to your shopping experience, it's probably going to make your search for your motorcycle successful. Like I said, if you have a wide net, if you're not looking for specific models, you probably have a pretty good chance of finding something that you would like to look for, like to purchase. That's probably a good way to buy your second motorcycle. I don't think that your main motorcycle, you probably want a specific model that does a specific thing, and something that makes your boat float is probably what you want for your first one and only motorcycle. But if you're searching for a secondary one, you know, cast a wide net, have a few ideas out there, and don't be target specific on your purchase. So I hope this thing's helped you out a little bit. I know it's probably kind of weavy and back and forth, but I think there's a lot of good information in there, what I've found. So I appreciate you watching. Thanks for watching. Adios.